Start bench drop. Rafinha, Ferran, or Joao Felix.
All right, so I think we both agree on Joao Felix is starting, right?
Yeah, I think that one has to be the start. I don't know about Rafinha and Ferran. That's a hard one. They're both kind of trash.
I know you go back and forth with both of them as far as how bad they both are.
Which one would you pick?
I think I would always go with Ferran. I think he's just got a little bit more of the qualities up front in front of the goal where you want.
You're keeping Ferran over Rafinha?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I agree. I agree, actually.
Okay.
I don't like either of the two for Barça, but I think Ferran has a bit more skill. Rafinha is... They cheated us with Rafinha.
Yeah, they got something out of for him, but
It's a Brazilian winger that can't dribble past anybody.
yeah, exactly. It's not good. It's not good for him, Rafinha. He's got some qualities, but he's definitely not a Barca style player that we want to see here. So
Messi's winning everything this season with Miami, dude.
no, they're definitely not.
No?
I don't think so. They can defend, dude. They got 6
that
goals
is true.
past them against Al Nasser.
Yeah.
They can defend, and it's like that against a lot of teams really in the MLS. And if you can't defend, even with those players like Suarez,
But you know
and
what?
Messi,
Look, the Al Nassr team. I think that's kind of cheating. That's like when you show up on Ultimate Team with like all icons and you go play against a bunch of bronze players. Like I just think those were mismatched. Like there's no Mitrovic, there's nothing like that in the MLS. I think they have a shot.
But what do you say about the 2-0 loss to Dallas, the 0-0 tie to El Salvador?
Oh, that's true.
That are not very good teams. What do you think about that?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. They do need one or two good defenders.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think once Suarez is in shape, because he looked bad in the preseason. I think once he's in shape and in sync again with Messi, I don't know that there's anybody that can stop him in the MLS.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that part. They're extraordinary talents, but they've really got to be a collective unit. Everybody behind Messi and Suarez has to be a good collective unit for them to succeed as a team.
They're gonna win at least one cup, though, right?
I'm iffy.
Not
on
even
it.
one.
I'm iffy on it. Yeah,
Okay. I
don't
say
think
one
so.
at least.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see what happened in Hong Kong?
No, dude, what happened?
Well, of course, Inter Miami was going to go play against the Hong Kong team, which I guess is like an all-star team of theirs. But Messi and Suarez didn't play a single minute. And the big thing is, like, when Inter Miami is advertising the game, Messi's on every poster and everything. So the fans go there expecting to hopefully watch Messi, even if it's 20 minutes or whatever, like they did against Al Nassr. But not a single minute. So kind of makes me think, like, are the fans right for expecting that? Or should they just be aware that it's a preseason game? They might make changes. They might be trying out new players because they're getting ready for a season.
Yeah, I got to side with the fans here. They're seeing Messi and Suarez all over the posters, and they're expecting to see Messi and Suarez at least for a few minutes on the field. I get it. It's preseason. They might not be fully fit for it, but unless it was actually an injury, then I would be okay with it as a fan. But if he's not injured or nothing like that, I would expect to at least see him for a few minutes.
Well, even that, like, supposedly he was injured, but you got to say that, right? You got to announce that, because not only are the fans expecting it, but Inter Miami is making money off of the tickets because of that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I agree.
Phil Foden is the type of player that Barca is missing, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we definitely could use a player like that. I don't know. Yeah. I would probably agree with that. I mean, you see what he did just this last game?
Just destroyed the team, right?
Dude, not only the hat trick, but like obviously the goals were amazing. Right. Yeah, I don't want to just brush over that, but the play, the way he adds to everything, it's exactly what I always say about those little passes that I want, like in between lines to kind of open up spaces. He lives in there. Like, he's literally in there, and you can play him a ball and he turns. Yeah. It's crazy to watch, dude.
Yeah, the one thing that I love about him is his ability to get out of tight spaces with speed.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And you know who he reminds me a lot of, who I really miss a lot, is David Silva. Remember how good he was when he with Valencia and Manchester City as well?
He kind of turns like him too, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, and he must have seen a lot of him growing up, because he was obviously a Manchester City fan, so he must have seen a lot of him and learned from him.
Imagine Foden up as a false 9 for us. We don't even need Lewandowski anymore. Just Pedri and Gundogan playing off of him.
Yes, that'd be amazing to have him. Rodri is the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah, it could be, dude, actually. I know there's Kevin De Bruyne, which is something different, but Dude, I think Rodri is more important to that team. I mean, we saw it. Kevin was injured for a little while, and they're still destroying teams. And then when you take Rodri out, they were struggling.
Yeah.
I think that's a big reason why Barça is struggling, because we don't have that Rodri, which was our Busquets before. Technically, Rodri is Cedi's Busquets. I don't want to mix it up. Busquets is the GOAT there. But Rodri, my buddy sent me an article about that holding midfielder position, and they were comparing Rodri and Busquets and then Declan Rice at Arsenal. How different it is that Rodri uses both feet versus Declan Rice only his right foot. And so he always has to cut back to his right somehow. And Rodri you can't press him because they give him the ball. He can be facing one way, but he can pass the other way. It's crazy. And that guy, he's everything for City, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely. You talk about that run that they had when he was injured. About they were kind of looking pretty shaky there.
Yeah,
it's crazy how much of a difference one single player in that midfield can do for an entire team. And he's so good. He covers so many different areas of everything in the game. His physicality, his passing, his movement. He's always an option for somebody, which is the one thing that you want from one of those holding midfielders.
He's always an option. Yeah. And I think everybody talks about Pep's legacy and the tiki-taka style and the possession game, but I think the biggest legacy that Pep is going to have once people notice is that position, because Busquets, he did it with Busquets under him, then he did it with Philipp Lahm that he put in Bayern, and Josh Kimmich, and then even Xabi Alonso he used there, which he kind of upped Xabi Alonso's game at a later age, and now Rodri, I think that's the biggest thing for Pep.
Yeah. Tiki-taka is dead.
No. I've been hearing that a lot. And actually, when I went to the Arsenal against Barcelona game back during preseason, I heard a guy from the Barça supporters say that, like we're trying to play possession still, but that's no longer how you can play. You can't play like that. I don't agree at all. I think that's what makes our club one of the best, if not the best clubs in the world. And I think we have to stick to it because, I mean, perfect example is City just won the Champions League and they're playing that way. There's no other proof you need. Like, you can still play it.
Yeah, you can definitely still play. You just have to convince players that it still works. I think a lot of the players that we currently have on Barça have not been used to that kind of play for the majority of their careers. So you really have to have a manager, even though Xavi has been part of this whole tiki-taka era for the longest time. You really got to convince these players that it's the right way to play. And a lot of these players, they play with so much pressure that they always want to go forward. And tiki-taka is really a game of patience, of kind of that chess game that you want to play.
moving the opponent's pieces out of the spots. That's true. I can see that with like Lewandowski, even Rafinha at times, where you can tell that they're not fully convinced, they're not committed to the style, and they're trying to just go and get the goal in or something. So yeah, you're right. I think the biggest thing is having a manager that can actually convince them, because that's a skill of its own.
Yeah. So the World Cup final is going to be played in New York?
I guess that's how they're advertising it, but technically I think it's New Jersey, I think. But I mean, it's in the U.S. for sure. It's in the U.S. And that's pretty exciting. I mean, we live in the U.S.
Yeah, I know. Definitely the World Cup. Every single time I see any video of the World Cup, it always brings chills to me. No matter what country it is. And now that it's going to be in our own backyard, not really our backyard because it's not going to be here in Phoenix, but just here in the U.S. in general, just in L.A., New York, Miami.
I mean, L.A. is 6-hour drive, an hour flight or whatever, assuming we can afford a flight. But
and a ticket.
Yeah, but that was the thing actually I wanted to ask. Like, what do you think prices are going to be for these games?
These prices are going to be insane, dude.
That's what I think too.
We live in one of the richest countries in the world. It's going to be the most marketed World Cup ever.
Yeah, I agree.
And these tickets are going to be insanely crazy pricey.
That's true. I mean, we got to go to a few games. Yeah. I know Mexico's opener is in Azteca, which is really cool. USA's opener is in LA. Yeah. That could be a maybe. But I think New York final or New Jersey final, we got to be there.
Definitely, if we can save up some money from here to then, definitely be there.
So everyone start saving right now.
Start saving those pennies. So Barça is beating Granada 3-1. Dude. This next game, they've got to step it up another level compared to the previous game. Offensively, I thought the last game they looked really good.
Yeah, they did.
They moved a lot better. They're a lot more sharper with their passes. Their movement was a lot more on point. And then the addition of Christensen in that midfield that we talked about. where it pushed everybody else, Gundogan, Pedri, and Young more up. It's going to be a big difference maker.
You think they're going to use him there again?
I hope so. Okay. He looked really good. Again, I think the defense is where they're gonna let in one goal at least.
Okay.
So yeah, they're still pretty bad in the back.
So you're saying a 3-1. Yeah. I'm gonna say a 2-0. I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna say they're gonna have their first clean sheet in a while, okay. Because last game I saw their movement off the ball defensively. Mm-hmm. A lot better than before. Like if you remember, there was that one where Gundogan ran and like there was a Alaves player about to shoot inside the box and Gundogan ran from I don't know who knows where and just kind of pickpocketed him. So I think if they can step it up with that, I think they're going to hold a 0 in net for the first time in a while. Okay. And I'm going to say 2-0.
Okay.
So 2-0, 3-1.
Yeah.
Come back in the comments. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.